Welcome back to another episode of College Hockey Talk. On today's podcast, we have rising junior forward for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Alex Steeves. He led the Irish in points last season, and he is also an all-academic Big Ten. Congratulations on that, and welcome to the podcast. How's quarantine going, and what are you doing to prepare for this upcoming season?
Quarantine's been a big change. This is the longest I've ever been home for like a straight stretch in a few years at least. So it's been nice to, have a lot of family dinners and kind of hang out and enjoy some of the things that I'm not always able to enjoy. But in terms of getting ready for the season, I'm just doing the same things I always do in the summer. Training hard, skating, and then also just focusing on some mental things and just trying to put myself in the best position to have a good year.
Has it been hard to get ice time where you're from?
No, not at all. I live in Minnesota, so there's no shortage of ice over here. So I think Minnesota was one of the first states to open up rinks too, because I think they probably consider hockey essential business in Minnesota. So it was. I've been skating for a couple months now.
And I read an article from the New England Hockey Journal that was posted like 2 years ago that you were doing the Tom Brady diet. I want to know, are you still on that, and what is it like to do that diet?
Yeah, no, I am doing it again this summer. I love it. I feel really good when I do it, and I feel like I'm able to get my body to a point where I want it to be, to kind of last and stay in good shape for a 9-month season. So it's hard. There's a lot of things you have to say goodbye to for a little bit, but I think it's worth it.
What are some of the things that you eat from that diet that you like the most?
I start every morning with a cherry almond smoothie. Just kind of got dark cherries, spinach, almonds, almond milk, and some chia seeds. And then also I like getting pretty creative with eggs, doing all sorts of stuff, mixing in avocado and stuff like that, smoked salmon. So I enjoy it, and I'm lucky enough to have two parents who are really good cooks. So they make dinner fun too.
Well, that's great. And you started your junior career with the Sioux City Musketeers before going to Dubuque. What was your experience like playing in the USHL?
I love the USHL. I left pretty early when I was a sophomore in high school to go out there, and I don't think necessarily a lot of people agreed with me heading out that young, but I have absolutely no regrets about it. I was able to play with, some 21 and 20-year-olds when I was really at a young age, and I figured out how to play the game the right way, playing both sides of the puck, which is huge for playing at a school like Notre Dame. And it took me a while to find, my true consistent offense in that league. But I think I learned how to play the game in a good kind of progression, and I loved it. I had some great coaches I played for, some great billet families, some great teachers, and my teammates especially. I still keep in contact with a lot of them, so I loved it.
What was the difference, in your opinion, between your play at Sioux City and Dubuque?
That's a good question. Sioux City, I would say I was just trying not to mess up, to be honest with you. I was super young and kind of like in awe of everything still. And I don't think I really had the confidence yet to kind of be the player I wanted to be. So I was playing scared a little bit. And then when I got traded to Dubuque, I played for Jason Lammer as a head coach, and he really kind of instilled a lot of confidence in me and kept telling me that I still had 2 more years of high school to really become a great player. And I think the big difference, though, was my summer going into my last year in Dubuque. I really ramped up my training a lot. That's when I went on the Tom Brady diet, and I really just kind of tried to redefine my training and who I could be as a player. And that gave me all the confidence in the world to kind of do things with the puck that I didn't really have confidence to do, and I think that really helped me my last year. And I also had a good coach, Oliver David, that last year, and he really instilled in me confidence to be the player I wanted to be too.
Yeah, I was looking at your hockey DB, and you improved a lot. And you improved a lot throughout your time at the UCHL. Your final season, you had 57 points. Was there anything that you specifically did that improved your game?
Yeah, I think my skating drastically improved. I've worked with some pretty good skating instructors over the years. And then also I really trained my shot hard. I worked with this guy, Glenn Tucker, kind of outside of Boston, and he trains guys like Sternock and Marchand and a lot of NHL guys, just working on your release and stuff. But really, I owe a lot to my trainer. For I can't even remember how many years, Clint Ettinger in New Hampshire. He really kind of worked with me every summer to just keep getting me. And I've always had a vision of what I wanted to be, and it kind of took me a while to get there. But and I'm not there yet, actually. But I've had a lot of people help me.
That's great. And what made you want to go to Notre Dame and play college hockey there?
I would just say it was kind of a no-brainer for me once you kind of take everything into account. I'm a pretty serious student, so right away that kind of limited some of the schools that I was hoping would express interest in me. And then kind of once I got to Notre Dame and saw the campus, like it's such a special place. And the coaching staff really gave me a good, warm feeling. And, you know, they really want the best out of their players. And I think it's got to be one of the best places in college hockey to, if you have NHL aspirations, to go, just because, you know, the facilities on par with anyone. And then our staff is just, I think, I'm obviously biased, but like just the little things, like our strength coach, like he's the best in the country and the best at what he does. And I truly believe I'm in the right spot to get where I want to go.
Well, that's speaking of the coaching staff, you get to play under Jeff Jackson. What's it like to play under him, especially since he's such a legendary college hockey coach?
Yeah, it's been a cool experience. You know, he's so well respected in the hockey world because not only has he had a lot of success, but he gets to spend a lot of time around him. He's got one of the hockey minds, you know, you don't really stumble upon all the time. And I'll be honest, hard at times playing for him. He's hard on me. He wants to get the best out of me, and that's why I chose Notre Dame. I don't want a coach who's just going to, you know, compliment me and, you know, be patting me on the back when I do good things. I want to be able to learn and kind of just soak up all he has to give me. So I've loved it so far. And the same goes for all the other coaches too, Coach Pooley and Andy Slaggert. They're unbelievable.
And you also get to play with your older brother, Matt. What is it like to play with him? And is there any sibling bantering that goes on between games?
Not between games. Other than that, pretty much 24/7. It's been fun playing with him. He played a role in Notre Dame. He was already committed there. We pretty much do everything together. And you know, it's really been cool to be able to play with my older brother, and he kind of helped me get my feet wet at Notre Dame. So something I'm definitely grateful for.
And during your freshman season, your team made the national tournament, playing in the regional in Manchester. Talk about that experience, especially beating Clarkson in the first game in overtime.
Yeah, no, it was I mean, you know, talking about why I kind of chose Notre Dame, one of the reasons I didn't mention is just because of the success of the program. I want to win. That's why I play hockey. I'm pretty competitive, and I wanted to, you know, have the opportunity to win a Big Ten championship, you know, to win a national championship. And my freshman year, we won that Big Ten, and then we came up a little short in the NCAA tournament. But I think it was a super cool experience, and beating Clarkson was a cool game because it was in Manchester, which was, you know, 5 minutes from where I currently lived at the time in Bedford, New Hampshire. And then that was a weird game. We kind of dominated the whole time, but we were losing for most of the game. But then we had a clutch goal at the end and then won it in overtime. So that was a cool celebration.
And another thing I want to ask you about your freshman season is you also got to play outside. The Winter Classic was at Notre Dame that year, and your team got to play Michigan. What was that like to play an outside game?
That was definitely I'll always remember that as one of the coolest hockey experiences I've ever had. I think there was almost 25,000 people there. I'll probably never play in front of a crowd that big again. You never know, I guess, but it was super cool. And then to play against Michigan and, be in the football locker room, and that was a really special week leading up to it. It was tough we didn't get the win, but I'll never forget that for sure.
And speaking on this season, what do you think is the biggest improvement that you made from your freshman year to your sophomore year?
Confidence. I think it's all confidence. It's I think there's a lot of players out there who have stuff in them, but they don't necessarily have the confidence to take that extra stride or maybe handle the puck or make plays. And I kind of gained my confidence through my training. I try to train so I know that I have a leg up on people. And I think I just get more and more confident as I go. And, pair that with the fact that I think I'm learning how to play college hockey at a higher level. It just helps me understand the flow of the game a bit more. So I think that's kind of been the big difference.
And you do go to Notre Dame. What's it like to balance athletics and academics, and how do you do it?
It's a grind. There's times where, the big thing is just learning how to handle stress. There's times where, during midterms, you've got 4 tests that week and 2 papers due, but you're also practicing, working out, getting ready for the weekend. You want to just, focus on hockey, but that's not really why I went to the school. So big thing is planning ahead. I'm kind of a procrastinator, to be honest. So I've kind of been doing a lot of crunch time work over my 2 years at Notre Dame, but I think it's a really good experience to be able to juggle that much stuff. And I think it'll suit me well once my hockey career ends.
And you do get to play in the Big Ten. There's a lot of good goalies in the Big Ten, like Strauss-Mann, and you obviously get to play with Cale Morris. Who is the best goalie you've faced so far in your college hockey career?
The best goalie I've faced. Other than my goalies, I would say, Strauss-Mann, he's had my number a bit.
Yeah.
If you go back and watch Michigan games where we play them and he's in net, I can't buy one on him. Hopefully next year that changes. But yeah, I don't know. Whenever their other goalie for Michigan was playing, I've been able to score a few times, but Strauss-Mann, even going back to Fargo in the USHL, for some reason I just can't beat the guy. It's been bugging me, but I've actually been thinking about that this summer, thinking about how I hope to maybe put some by him next year.
Maybe you can do it at Michigan in overtime. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I think about stuff like that. So he's a hell of a goalie, though.
Yeah.
He's I'm pretty sure one of my best friends on the team is he's good buddies with him, and I heard he trains really hard and he's got a bright future ahead of him. So no, I respect his game. He's a good player.
And what is your favorite road arena to play in, since the Big Ten has a lot of cool rinks, in my opinion?
It's honestly hard to choose, and that's one of the reasons I was super excited because when I committed, Notre Dame was Hockey East, but they made the switch to Big Ten a year after I committed. And literally every single night you're playing it. If you're not at home, you're playing in a cool rink. I'd say my favorite 2 are probably Mariucci and Yost. I like Mariucci because I think it's cool to play on an Olympic rink every once in a while, and they've got the big bowl and, the yellow M in the seats and stuff. And also I always have a lot of family and friends there to watch, so that's pretty cool. And then the Yost is a pretty special place, with the steel beams and the natural light and stuff. And I scored my first college hockey goal there, so that kind of makes it even more special for me when I walk in. So those two in particular are pretty cool. But I've been able to play at some super nice rinks my first 2 years. So yeah, no, it's fun.
And is there any particular NHL player you try to model your game after?
Yeah. I try not to get too caught up in comparing myself. I more so try to I watch a lot of hockey, and I try to just take things from everyone. So there's players that I probably have zero in common with, or nothing in common, but I still try to take stuff from them. But in terms of player comparison, I try to watch a lot of Logan Couture on San Jose. He's just, he's got really good hockey IQ. He plays with a good stick, and he's one of those guys with a knack for scoring. So I try to watch a little bit of San Jose when I can. And then also Jake Gensel on Pittsburgh. He was a college hockey guy. Just another guy who, he's got really good hockey IQ, good hands, knows how to play the game, and he can, kind of play with anyone. So those are two guys I really try to watch.
Now we're going to try to get into some non-hockey questions. And my first one is, Notre Dame is very well known for its athletics. What's your favorite sport to watch that isn't hockey on campus?
It's for sure football. It's that, and that's one of the I'm a huge sports buff guy. I always joke that in a parallel universe, I'd want to be like a sportscaster or like a guy who talks about sports on TV, because I just, NFL, NBA, all college sport. I just love watching sports and keeping tabs on everything. So I love to watch the football team, and it's so much fun when they're having a good season. And they're in the running for the national championship, just because there's a different buzz around campus, and it's so much fun to go to those games when we can. And when they're on the road, the guys always get together and watch those games when we can. So it's cool.
Is there any crazy game that you went to for football in particular?
Yeah, my first tailgate ever was Notre Dame versus Michigan.
Oh, wow.
And College game day was in town too, so it was that was a super fun day. And then also they played USC. I think that was last year. I didn't really go to that game though, because it was the night before one of our games, and
Yeah.
I like to lay low and rest up before games and kind of just focus. Everyone's different, but so that game I think could have been cool, but I wasn't really focused too much on it. But the Notre Dame Michigan game was super cool. And then there's been a lot of buzz on campus about Notre Dame Clemson.
Oh, yeah.
This coming year. But I don't know if that's going to end up. Hopefully it happens, but
That'd be pretty cool to see Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, no, he's a stud. So that'd be a good game, and hopefully it happens. We'll see.
Did you create a sign for College game day or no?
No, I did not. Maybe I should have. But the thing is, we have kind of a tradition on the team where on game days for football, we have a morning lift and skate. So while everyone's kind of starting to get crazy out in the parking lot, we're still grinding inside.
Yeah.
Getting some work in before a long day. So it's we didn't really actually get to go out to the College game day, but the crowds around, they kind of did it in front of the Hesburgh Library, and it was packed. It was fun.
What is your favorite movie?
Depends on the genre. For comedy, it's easily Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
If anyone hasn't seen it, you're missing out, because it's just such a quotable good movie. And then in terms of serious movies, I really like Inception with Leonardo DiCaprio. I think that's just a good movie. And then there's a lot of other good ones. Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a good one. The Usual Suspects. Some classics, but if I had to pick one, definitely Wedding Crashers.
That's great. And what type of music do you listen to that pumps you up for a game?
For games, yeah, I listen to some rap. I listen to some EDM. I'm not too picky about it as long as it's loud. I like it. I'm kind of a jammer. I like loud music. So
What EDM artist is your favorite?
I don't know. I don't. I just literally have a bunch of random songs. Kygo's pretty good. Calvin Harris, those guys. But again, and then when I'm not playing hockey, I literally listen to every single genre of music you can imagine. And I'm not really a big playlist guy. I just have a huge library of music and I just hit shuffle. So
yeah. Well, Kygo just released a new album, so that's something you can
Did
check.
he really?
Yeah, last month. So, and who's the funniest on Notre Dame's hockey team?
God, we've got a good group. Jack McNabb, he was a freshman last year. He's absolutely hilarious. If you get him, my older brother and I in a room, we're just absolute goofballs. My older brother's really funny.
Yeah.
I like to think I'm kind of funny, but I'll let someone else confirm or deny that.
We'll get Jack to come on and he'll confirm it for us.
Yeah, exactly. But no, we've got a lot of guys who everyone's got a good sense of humor on our team. Sneaky pick though, Spencer Stastny. He keeps it super clean, but he's just got he's one of those guys who can just make you smile. So
sense of humor.
Yeah, he's funny.
Who has the best style on the team?
Oh, Nate Clerman, easy pick.
The brands that he wears, like Gucci, Louis Vuitton.
No, he's not like super fancy. He's just got really just clean, good style. The thing is, he wears stuff that I could never pull off. So
yeah,
he's very trendy and up to date. So, but we don't have too many guys who are bad dressers for the most part. Jesse Lansdale likes to wear the same pair of sweatpants every day. But other than that, it's a pretty good group.
And getting back to hockey, what are some of your goals for next season, and what are you looking forward to the most?
My first goal is for our team to get back into the NCAA tournament and compete for a Big Ten championship. I thought we had a team this year that could have won the national championship, to be honest, and we started out hot and then the wheels really fell off for us. And it was a shame too, because I think kind of the character in the room and the roster we had really could have gone far. So my biggest goal is, finding a way to help elevate our team and get our incoming freshmen in and getting back to Notre Dame hockey, which is, being a team that people fear and dread playing against. So I think we let up on that a little bit last year. And then individually, I just want to keep getting better. Every single year, I feel like I've gotten better since I've started playing hockey at a high level. And, I'm not going to throw any lofty goals out there and, voice them, but I do have them. And those are things I work towards. So I'm really excited for next year.
And my last question for you before we let you go is, what is your favorite hockey memory?
Favorite hockey memory. My senior year, I had the chance to play for Team USA up in Canada for the World Junior A Challenge. That was kind of big for me for a lot of reasons. I wasn't really someone who was expected to make that team. But going into that season, during the off season prior, that was something that, I kind of had like taped on my wall that I wanted to make that team and play for my country. And, I kind of personally, like inside, like I made sure that I was going to make it impossible for them to not pick me on that team. So being able to make it as a guy who wasn't expected to, that was kind of really assuring for me. And then just the tournament itself, being able to play for Team USA, you have to make the most of those opportunities because you never know how many times you're going to be able to put on that crest. So that was super cool. And it was up in Nova Scotia, and I've actually got a lot of family there. So it was just one of those things where the stars kind of aligned, and it was such a cool experience for me. We only won silver. It was kind of disappointing, but
Did you guys lose in overtime that game?
No, so we played Canada West, I think, and
Yeah.
we had beaten them in the prelims, kind of we handled them pretty well. And then for the finals, it was just, I don't know. There was a huge crowd. Everyone was against us, and they scored that first goal, and we didn't really handle it as well as we should have, and they kind of pulled away. I think we lost by a few.
Oh.
Thank God we didn't lose in overtime. I probably still wouldn't be over.
Yeah.
But no, that was awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Once again, congratulations on making the All-Academic Big Ten. That's a huge accomplishment. You should be proud for that. That's really awesome. And thank you so much again for discussing your time at Notre Dame. And good luck next year, and I hope to see you guys play sometime.
All right. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. Have a nice day.
You too.